Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a free day today, the wife's out, so I thought I'd do another bit of the project. I'm feeling a bit beat this week, so I had plans to do a bit more welding work, but I thought, you know, I'll kind of slow the pace down today and do something a bit more easy on the old body. So I posted a picture in the Facebook group. I broke one of the calipers apart and cleaned it and got it ready for plating. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you how I did that. This is the other side, this dirty old thing. So let me show you how I went about that, and then we'll start plating everything. Now, from a little bit of research on the group, I thought these were just zinc plated, but they did have that yellow chromate apparently on the original, so we're just going to replicate that. I'm not going to dip it for very long because I don't like it when it gets really orange. I kind of think it looks a bit fake, so probably about another 15-20 second dip in the chromate should give us the color we're after. This first one I did yesterday, the bores seem extremely clean, so that's a good sign. So these are savable. I split them to make them easier to clean up, and also there's a little seal that goes on both sides. I'll obviously have to replace that along with all the other seals, but we'll get to that. I'll show you what I did on the next one. Okay, first things first is to take the old pads out of there, get those pins out. Drop those guys out. We'll turn this round in the, say, put a couple of pieces of wood in there, or actually not the thin pieces there. Let's see if we can get those bores out of there. That's the way I do it, not like this. There you go. Ouch, fuck, shit. As you can see, that's pretty painful. Blasted all that brake fluid out of there. I want to try and get this other one out. Let's see how that works. There you go. A lot of brake fluid in there. Clear that up. Now this one, I want to use a wooden vise just so you don't damage the caliper. Get that last one out. Okay, here's the little seal here. You can see that. There's a little seal and another seal here. Mates up against this surface. Just carefully ease that out. It's right on the top there. There you go. So you can see some rust residue there, but that should come off. It's not, well, the other one wasn't scored at all. It doesn't look like this one is. It just got a bit discoloration on the piston there. Take that seal off. I don't know whether you can see this. There's a seal on the inside at the top there. I use a dental pick to hook that out. Just got to make sure you don't. There's the seal. It's like a round, it's a square round seal. Yeah, square, not a round seal. So that bore looks pretty good. Give that a wipe out. So I'll take that up to the, I'm going to put this in some degreaser for 10 minutes, get most of it off, and then it will go into the muriatic acid to clean these completely, and then we'll move on to wire brushing them, ready for plating, and then they go into another degrease bath. Before we go into the zinc bar. So let me get these degreased. I don't have to show you that, it's just a purple power. I just soak them in there for a bit. Okay, this is how they came out the degreaser. That light on, there we go. So it just gets the worst of it off, it saves contaminating the muriatic acid. Okay, we're outside now. Like I say, I don't have a mask on, but you should really wear a mask when you're around this stuff, but I'm going to be very careful not to put my head over it. This is a 5-gallon bucket I got from Ace, obviously. I got one of these parts racks just so it's easier to dip things into the bucket without trying to fish them out, and you risk splashing, you see, then. So you can see the smoke and stuff coming off it. It's so nasty. So I'm just going to immerse this stuff in here. I'm about 3 feet away just holding it because it's such nasty gear. So let that cook away for about 10 minutes or so. Oh yeah, back from that. So, like I say, always wear a mask except when you're filming. But with brake calipers, because it's a cast, you know, you wouldn't want to leave those in much past, you know, 5-8 minutes or so, because I think it could affect the material, etch into it too much. But this is just to remove any of the coating that's on there, get us back to a clean surface, then we'll wire brush. Alright, that's been about 3 or 4 minutes, just to give you an idea what it does. There you go, see? Stripped off most of it already. Like I say, I don't like to exceed, you know, 5-8 minutes or so. You know, I don't want to affect the integrity of the cast, I guess. Stripped off pretty good. We rinsed them thoroughly. Just neutralise that acid. And then the bolts in there. Right, back to the grinder again with a very soft wire brush attachment. I didn't get an aggressive one because I don't think you need to. And just clean these bodies up. So you can see, it is a little surface rust even starting to develop just after a few minutes, but that's okay. I'll clean all that up. I started here, but let me show you and then we'll go to the next stage. I'm not going to film all of this, but you get the idea. So remember, just let the machine do the work. You don't have to press too hard. Okay. There you go. Now, like I say, there was a guy I watched that used a bead blaster to blast these. I'm not sure, I don't think that's necessary on these because these are in pretty good shape, the bodies, but maybe that's a better way of going. I just feel this is a little bit more straightforward and I don't have a bead blaster, so I thought I'd try this. If it works, then good enough. You can see it doesn't take long to clean them up. Also, I'm doing the bolts today as well. I'll show you how I like to do those. Get the lower thread done. and then put them in a drill. Make short work of them, see? Get some all cleaned up. What we've got the one part of one of the earlier calipers in the degreasing rinse. I mean the degreaser. This is the degreasing rinse here that I rinse before it goes into the zinc bath. So let's get that out of there. That's been cooking away for about 10 minutes or so. It's about 90 degrees or so in there. We'll get that rinsed off. And then rinse, because this water gets contaminated over a period of time. You want to rinse it above it so it washes off any of the contaminated water from this greaser rinse. So everything as clean as possible. So I'm calculating this is going to take about 25 minutes. I'll probably put it about 5.5 amps. Maybe about 20 minutes at 5.5 amps. So let's get that in the zinc bath. See, I've got my water heater in there, so that's got that nice and heated up. So we'll immerse that in there. And we don't want it to touch the bottom, so I'm going to reorientate this with a deeper bend in it. Make sure that that's not touching the bottom. We've got 2 zinc plates either side. I want to try and set it somewhere in the middle. I will rotate it. Okay, let's see where we're at now. We're looking at putting it up to around 5.5 amps, something like that. And for about 20 minutes. So we'll watch the clock here and we'll come back to that. So that's cooking out. So you have to kind of stay on top of it and move it around occasionally, make sure, because from my understanding this process is very directional. So parts this side need to be in front of the plates as well, so it's very directional. And I also found out, I was a little concerned doing the brake calipers whether it would interfere with the bore at all inside the bore, and apparently it doesn't do anything to that. So you're not to worry, because this is been done by someone I saw and he said it's not anything to be concerned about. So let's let that cook off for a bit. Right, this caliper, this part has been in for, let's see, 11 minutes now. I'm ready to turn it again. You can see that's, you'll see some dark shaded areas that will come off when we hit the pickling bath. See where it's not been plating because of the direction. So I'm just going to change it so it's getting direction from this way now. So you must circulate around, and like I say, I've got a little fish pump in there to kind of act like a convection, you know, move the solution around and get a nice even coating. Right, we're about 25 minutes now. Let's see, it should come out very nice now. We've changed it around. See those dark areas? They will lighten up once the, or shine up I should say, once they hit the pickling bath. Give that a rinse in the zinc rinse. Right, then we've got the pickle bath at the back here. As you know, we just etch the surface for about 5 seconds, 8 seconds or so. As you can see, it comes out a lot brighter out of there. And then we'll rinse that guy. And the pickle rinse down here, out of shot. I'll come up with around 20 seconds in the chromate bath. Gives us the look that we want. And just make sure we're on camera here. Okay, so we'll wait for the clock. Very gently in. Swoosh it around just very gently in there. Not scraping the bottom at all. 10, 15, and 20 seconds. Very gently out. And then out of camera here, I'm going to dip it once in the rinse bath. So here's one I did earlier. That's had a lot of time to dry here. You can see the colours really come out beautiful. And this one I've just hung. So I didn't want to go too orange. So I think that starts to look a little fake. This has got a very light coating to it, you know, light iridescent look. So coming out really nice. Like I say, it doesn't really go into the bore because I'm not really exactly sure why it doesn't really. It might be the directional thing again, but I've been assured it doesn't affect me. Right, okay, so we're going to try and do the Black Chromate. The camera ran out of batteries again, so let's do these next 4 bolts. The caliper bolts that hold the 2 sides together. These guys out of there. I added some brightener to the zinc solution because I noticed one of the calipers, the 3rd one came out, it was not quite as bright, so I added a bit brightener, and then the 4th one came out and it looked much better. So I'm not going to redo it because it looks fine. It's just not quite as bright as the others. Just giving this just an etch in the pickle bath. Out of there. Rinse that off. So we're going to go in for about 30-45 seconds. That's coming up to 45 seconds. You can see that, they're all nice and black. So rinse those off. Hopefully you can see those. Turn the camera, see, such a strong backlight. There you go, they came out quite nice. Nice and black. So let's hang those up to dry. Right, so that's it for the day. I've done all 4 halves of the calipers, the bolts, and some other miscellaneous nuts and bolts while I was in there. These are still drying, but as you can see, they come out real nice. Kind of worth the effort to save these guys. This is the one that didn't, it was a little dull in some areas, but then I added zinc brightener and you can see it really brightened it up. I'm not going to redo it because it's just a brake caliper and it's got a good coating of zinc on it, so I'm happy. Before I go, just wanted to show you, these are the hard lines on the back of the front wheels, you know, that go to the flexible line. These go onto the back plate and into the caliper, and then the flexible line attaches here. But what's really nice is they're all brass, which is kind of nice. So they cleaned up nicely. These are obviously the bearing tightening nuts. They don't need really anything, really, because they're submerged in grease all the time. So these are obviously the pistons inside the brake calipers. You can see there's a bit of discoloration, little surface rust here. Now what I've used is the fast etch, and what I spray that on there, leave that to bite for a few minutes, and then these wipe completely clean. As long as there's no scoring, which there isn't on these or the other ones, these are perfectly usable. So that's good. Also on the back here, now I've rebuilt these before and I'm going to have to look it up. This is cut out here in this section. Now this has to orientate a certain way round, and for the life of me I can't remember whether this edge points down or up. I've got memory it points down. It's something to do with the anti-squeal on the brakes, I believe. So if someone can give me a heads up on that, I appreciate that. If not, I'll just look in the manual. I'm sure it will refer to that. So that is that. Like I say, I'll get some new pins and a backing plate, and that is it. If you can land yourself one of these little toothpicks, they're kind of handy to pull the seals out as well. And there's the old seal. All right, well that's it for the day. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Next up, I've got to order the rebuild kits for the brake calipers, the seals, new pins and backing plates, and obviously pads and all that stuff. But got that done now, then plated up, leave them to dry overnight. And I'm probably going to turn my attention to start rebuilding and putting all that suspension, all the suspension components back together. I still have to locate a lower outer repair kit. A gentleman from on YouTube recommended the place to get it, but that's actually just the location of the Phoebe manufacturer, and then when I go to try and find a outlet, everyone seems to be out of stock at the moment. I've got a call through to Pierre. He said he might have a couple of used ones, good used ones. That's fine as long as they're not all torn up. It doesn't matter to me. So I think that is it for today. Next video I'll be going over the car that Will and I pulled up the other week, chatting about what I'm going to do with that. And until next time, thanks a lot for watching. Please hit subscribe and the like button and share it if you like what you see. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.